Your Alaska Link weather for Fairbanks and the interior.
February is winding down as we head here into our Friday, and we note that much of the month of February was about very warm conditions. We had a few cool days and a stretch at a point, but overall we were trending with temperatures heading into the teens almost much of the month. But we are going to be watching here that there is even warmer air that will take us into our March, where we're building into the 30s here even for our final day of February. Paired up with it is some of those bright skies. We're noting that we may have some cloudier times next week, but we're going to prevail with dry conditions. Now, there is some cooler temperatures that are moving in, but for the time being, it's holding off until next weekend. But we do see the signal in the extended forecast, which looks at March 7th through March 13th to show some cooler than normal temperatures moving their way in, first taking hold there of the West Coast, and also noting that much of the state here of Alaska not seeing any warmer than normal conditions. So we're at least going to start to turn back towards seasonal conditions end of next week into the weekend forecast. But what we note is that cooler weather, okay, we have a change, but we don't really see much change for precipitation. There are some chances on the board, but overall we're not noting that we really have any big time precipitation on its way. And it's been a decent snowfall month for the interior, not looking at a surplus, but we'll have to keep an eye on that precipitation, especially for not even our local area, but for areas like Anchorage that have been that lacked a lot in February. Now, for Fairbanks here for our Friday, we are working with that sunshine and starting to see that big warm up. We've been seasonable the last few days, but these 20s to 30s, even near 40s, are going to feel very mild. We are watching that there is a strong impact with an area of low in the Gulf and bringing impacts into the south central for our Friday. That is sending in some stronger winds there for our communities of Delta Junction as well as Healy. So note those traveling along our highways, there will be some concerns with those wind gusts, creating some concern there of some whiteouts at times, some blowing and making for some difficult travel. But outside of that, not going to see too much of a long-lived concern. Now for our Friday, we are on the dot for an 8 a.m. sunrise with 10 hours and 4 minutes of daylight, as we have now an after 6 o'clock sunset. And we will talk about next week, looking ahead into next weekend's forecast, where we do have daylight saving time, as well as we'll look into the end of March for that spring equinox. But we are definitely feeling like spring with these temperatures, as we are noting that as early here as our Friday afternoon, are we heading to a high of 30 degrees into Fairbanks. Hot Springs 35 degrees, Delta Junction 34, Denali National Park at 35, Tana Cross at 26, Circle at a high of 5. Saturday is going to continue that warmth. We even note that Tana hits a high of 24, McGrath at 27. So widespread warmth pulling in, and it is not only pulling in but sticking around as we head into next week.